Hi, Samadhan. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. So, how are you, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine, ma'am.
Okay. So let's get started. Can you briefly explain about yourself and what projects you have worked on and what is your roles and responsibilities over there?
Okay, ma'am. So basically, myself, Samadhan Garde. Okay, I belongs to Marwadi number. I mean Marwadi Indapur district, Pune. Okay. So, ma'am, about my skill set. Okay, I have hands-on on a core Java. So from core Java, I know the concept like a polymorphism, inheritance, and encapsulation. So, okay. So from the
Okay.
so I have also hands-on on a collection, exception, JDBC. Okay, from the framework I have worked on a Spring framework. Okay, from Spring framework there are various models I have used here. So MVC is there, boot is there, then JDBC. Okay, and core. Okay, then from the database part, I have used Oracle, then SQL and MongoDB. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
from web services, I have used RESTful web services, and also I have consumed as well as I have produces the web services. So that's all about my skill set. So basically, earlier I have worked on a, uh, I mean, okay, sorry, mom. So SAT TV digital television. So we will
Mm-hmm.
use here MUC design pattern to develop the code, and then so basically in that project we have developed so developed one
What
GUI
are
and
the technology stacks you have used in that project?
yes, so I have used here a Spring Core, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and at backend I have used MongoDB, okay, yes, and yes, front end, okay, so front end I have used I mean console based application. So this is for the
Okay.
college level
Okay,
purpose I
fine.
have developed.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So we start with Kojava. So you have an experience on Spring MVC as well, right?
Yes,
Spring
yes, yes,
framework. So
yes, yes.
coming to the database side, on which framework you have worked? Which ORM tool you have
So,
worked?
yes, I have used Spring JDBC basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll start with Kojava. So
Okay.
can
Yes.
you please explain me about difference between array list and linked list?
Yes, ma'am. So basically, the array underlying. So these are a implementation of list basically, and
Mm-hmm.
here the difference is that array list underlying data structure of array list is a growable and resizable array, and for the linked list, so underlying data structure for the linked list is a doubly linked list basically. So array list implement the random access interface. So basically this is a marker interface, but linked list does not implement the random access. Okay. Then array list is the best choice for the retrieval operation basically, ma'am. Okay. So because of internally it will use the array, and we know that from the array we can access easily any number,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at any look or at any index, okay. Then
Mm-hmm.
linked list, okay. Linked list is an best choice for the retrieving, I mean inserting and deleting the element, okay. Then okay, so in that case
So
another
performance
differences are
wise,
there.
yeah, performance wise, which is better? Array list is better or linked list is better?
Yes, performance wise array list is better because so for the retrieval purpose, okay, but for the deletion and for the insertion purpose, array list is not better basically, but linked list is better for that, because in the case of the linked list, data will get stored in consecutive form, okay. So in various memory location data will get stored, okay.
Okay. So coming to the next question, what is the difference between interface and abstract class? And in real-time scenarios, which one is better to go with? Because we usually work with both interfaces and abstract class, right? So which one
Yes,
will be
yes.
more preferable?
So basically, so based on our requirement, if suppose if we have partial implementation, okay, in that case we should go for the abstract classes. But in the case if you don't have any implementation, okay, we have just a requirement specification, in that case we should go for the interfaces basically. Okay, so based on requirement, suppose for example in real time scenario we can say that we have uh, a building plan, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any implementation for that, okay, only we have just a plan. So in that case so this is a requirement specification document, okay, in that case interface is okay. But if you have partially implemented building, so in that case we should go for the abstract classes. So that is a part about abstract and interfaces. Yes.
Okay. So can you please explain me the internal working of the hash map? How the
Okay, so
hash map will
basic.
work internally, and
Okay,
how the
yes,
object
yes.
will get like values and it will get stored.
Okay. So yes, yes, ma'am. So basically, what will happen when we call? So basically, we will use the put method for the putting the key value pair into a hash table. Okay. So what will happen when we call the put method? So internally, hash code of that key will get calculated. Okay. So based on that hash code, okay. So index will be calculated. Okay, and so that key value pair will get placed at particular index in the hash table. Okay, so at the time of retrieving or when we call the get method, okay, so again that process is there. You inside the as a part of get method parameter we pass a key, okay, so for that key it will calculate again one I mean hash code. After that it will calculate the index, okay, by modding that 16, okay, that is the initial size of a particular hash map, okay.
Okay. What happens? What happens if the if the hash code is same for different keys? Like if you're trying to insert like map dot put some value key and value
Hmm.
and put some
Hmm.
value, and if both the numbers having the same hash code, then what will happen?
So in that case, so there may be a chance to happen collision case. Means a single bucket, so there may be chance to store the multiple entries. Okay.
Mhm. So when you are
Yes.
trying to get the values,
Uh,
then how the hash map will return the value? If it is in the same
so
bucket, on what basis you will get the value, particular value?
yes. So what will happen when we call the get method on a particular hash map object? Okay, internally, so hash code of that key will get calculated. Okay, whatever you specified as a part of the get method, then index will get calculated, and that in that so at that particular index, so it will check, okay, it will check the particular key, and whatever we specify as a part of get method, so that keys are similar or not by using the dot equal method, okay, or their hash code are similar or not, okay. If the both are match, in that case it will return the that associated value of that key, okay. So if it is not match, in that case it will search the in next index, okay. So basically data will get stored inside the bucket in the form of a linked list, okay. Linked list having a four part. First one is a previous there, okay. Then next so sorry, hash code is there, okay. Then we have data is there, I mean value is there. The next is there, okay, preview is there, something this kind of four division will be there. So it will check again next reference if there is a next node is there or not. If node so next node is available, then again it will call the dot equal method, okay, check the keys are there equal or not, okay, hash code are equal or not,
Okay, okay.
okay,
Yeah.
yes. So
Okay,
that is
fine.
a process interval.
Okay. Have you worked on Java? Which version of Java you have worked?
1.8 version.
Okay. So, can you explain me what are the Java 8 new features?
Okay,
Because
so
from the
Java.
Java 7 to Java 8, they have implemented so many features, right? So, can you explain me what are those?
Okay, so Java 8, as a part of Java 8, there are various features are introduced. So first is the lambda expression, so which is enable the functional programming in our Java programming basically, and which is help us to write the concise code, okay, in our Java.
Okay.
Then functional interfaces will be there, okay, to call the lambda expression. So we use the functional interfaces. Then we have from the
Functional
APIs there are
interface, one more question. Like functional interface will allow abstract methods as well as the concrete methods, you are saying?
okay, yes. So basically, functional interfaces allow single abstract methods and multiple default method and static methods.
Okay. What happen if I like mention two abstract methods in one functional interface?
Okay, yes. If you
Let's say I
annotate
have
that,
yeah.
yes,
Let's
yes.
say I have created one interface and annotated by
Okay,
using the functional interface, and inside
yes,
that I have created two abstract methods. Okay,
yes, yes,
abstract
yes, yes,
void run, abstract void play something. Two methods I have created.
yes,
So whether
yes.
the class will allow?
No, no, class is not allowed. So a class, that interface is not allowed basically
Yeah.
because we have annotated that class. Okay, that interface with the functional interface. So it will contain or only one abstract method. So if you are
Okay.
trying to specify more than one, you will get an exception. Compile
Okay.
time check
Let's
continue.
say okay. Let's say I have created one interface I1,
Yes,
and inside that I have
yes,
one method default void run. Okay, and I
yes.
have
Okay,
created one
yes,
more interface I2, and inside that I have
yes.
created one more method, like same method default void m1. Sorry,
Okay,
default void run. Okay, two methods with the same thing. So
yes, yes.
I have created one more class which implements I1 and I2, and like
Okay,
I have created one more class test and implements
mm,
interface 1 and interface 2, and inside
okay,
that I have created an object like test, and I'm calling I1 method like I1 interface I1. I'm creating the reference of I1, and I'm calling
mm.
test method like new test of. So which method it will call? Because we have two interfaces, right? Did you understand
Okay,
my
so
question?
suppose, yes, yes, ma'am. So you said we have interface one, interface two, and those
Yes,
interface contains same default method. Okay. Hmm?
yes, yeah.
Yes, and if you implement that two interfaces into a
One
class,
class.
okay,
Yeah.
one class, okay, there is one method, okay,
Mm.
or okay, in that case, what will happen? You said now. So in
Yes.
that case, we
Yeah.
will get an exception. To solve that exception, okay, to solve that error, so we require
Mm-hmm.
to provide the implementation for the one method and
Mm-hmm.
another thing to resolve that. So if you want to call the interface one specific method, in that case we can do like a interface name. So interface name, suppose a is the interface, so a having one method, and if you want to call that
Mm-hmm.
method, in that case
Mm-hmm.
a dot super dot m1, a dot super dot
Okay.
m1, okay, b is there, b dot super dot m1. So specific method will get called and ambiguity will get resolved. Okay,
Okay.
that is point.
Done. So coming to the Spring MVC, what are the annotations you have worked on?
Okay, so from okay, as a part of Spring MVC, I have used stereotype annotations like at the rate controller, at the rate service, at the rate repository, at the rate component. Okay, is there? So and at the rate request mapping also I have used. Okay, at the rate get mapping, at the rate post mapping. So this kind of annotation I have used on top of controller class APIs. Okay.
Okay. You have worked on REST API as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what is the difference between at controller and at rest controller?
So come again at the rate controller annotation and at
At
the
the
rate
rate
rest controller.
controller and at the rate rest controller.
Okay, so basically at the rate controller annotation is used to mark the class as a controller. Okay, and at the rate rest controller annotation is used to mark the class as a at the rate rest controller. Okay, rest controller. Okay, so basically
Mm-hmm.
what will happen? Okay, so if you want to develop the REST web services by using the at the rate controller annotation. Okay, so in that case
Mm-hmm.
we must require to annotate every API. Okay, inside you whatever you inside. I mean, we have inside the controller class with the at the rate response body annotation first define. And in the case of the at the rate rest controller, it is a combination of at the rate controller and at the rate response body. So that's why we are not required to annotate that at the rate response body on every API. Okay. Then another difference is what there when we annotate the particular class as a at the rate controller annotation. In that case, it will whatever method, whatever APIs we have write as a part of that controller class, always return the view name. Okay, instead of
Mm-hmm.
returning the object. But in the case of at the rate rest controller, man, so it will always, I mean, all APIs always returns the object instead of returning the views. Okay, basically at the rate controller annotation is the old one. Okay, at the rate rest
Yeah,
controller annotation is
understood.
a new one.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay. So, what is the difference between concurrent hash map and hash map?
Yes, so basically concurrent hash map is a thread shape version, okay, and hash
Mm-hmm.
map is not thread shape basically, okay.
Okay.
Concurrent
Mhm.
hash map having a bucket level locking, and okay, in that case what will happen, so multiple threads can perform the read operation, and there are 16 concurrency levels are there, so 16 threads perform the update operation at a time, okay, or we can say the simultaneously. But in the case of the hash map is a
Mhm.
non-synchronized version. Multiple thread can perform the read operation, write operation, no problem, okay. So concurrent hash map is a thread shape version, I mean sorry, it is a fail safe version, okay. But hash map is not an fail fast version, okay, means while,
Yeah. And
yes,
you're
yes.
saying like, yeah. So then what is even a hash table also is thread safe, right? And what is the difference between hash table and concurrent hash table?
Yes, yes, yes. So basically, in the case of hash table, so hash table having a, okay, at a time all object will get locked, okay. But in the case
Mm-hmm.
of the concurrent hash map, so all object will not get locked. Basically, there is some concurrency levels are there, bucket level wherever we perform the update level operation, update operation. So so those bucket or those kind of code will get locked, okay.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yes.
instead of locking the all object or whole, I mean entire object, it will not lock that something. So sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. For example, you have a knowledge on synchronization, right? How it will work.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, one class like I'm doing this synchronization. So, do you have a knowledge on transient variable?
Yes. Yes.
What is the difference between transient and volatile?
Yes. So basically, what will happen in the case of volatile? Okay. So volatile means. So basically, I'll explain some more here. So our
Mhm.
volatile, I mean our static keyword or class level variables and instance variable are stored inside the our I mean in a I mean sorry, in the memory area and in heap area. Basically in memory and heap area is not synchronized, okay. Multiple thread can perform at a time, okay, on that, okay, variable. So that, okay, so that is mean, okay, that's mean. So static variables and instance variable are not thread safe, okay. There may be, okay, because of, okay, not thread safety, multiple thread can perform or update that operation or that variable simultaneously, okay.
Mhm.
So because of that, there may be a chance to have an I mean data inconsistency problem, okay. To avoid that data inconsistency problem, they will introduce the volatile code, okay. So if you make that variable as a volatile, so in that case what will happen, so for every thread, so new copy will get created, okay. So because of that, so that particular data inconsistency problem will get, okay, avoid, okay. So that is
Mhm.
point here. But another one is that here transient means not to serialize, okay. Suppose if you don't want to save or serialize a particular variable, okay, in the case of serialization, in that case we can declare that variable as a transient. At the time of serialization, JVM will assign the default value to that. So that is used of also, so that is a difference here. And both are so similarity is that both are used to declare the variables, I mean variable level modifiers, you can
Okay.
say. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay. And so, what is the difference between runnable and clonable interface?
Runnable and callable or clonable.
Clonable.
Yeah, clonable. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, runnable is an okay, is not marker interface basically, okay, which having the run method, and clonable marker interface, okay. So by implementing that interface, so our object will get clonable ability, okay. So we can clone our object, okay. So runnable interface is used for that if our thread, okay, after completing the thread job, okay, if our thread doesn't return anything, okay, in that case we can use the runnable interface to create and thread, okay. So that is point here. And yeah, clonable interface, so basically okay, so what we say that for the clonable another difference, so it is ability interface or it is a tag interface, okay. okay, by implementing that interface, our object will get ability, so which is provided by the JVM. Okay, so that is a difference. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, somewhat you are audible. I think there's some network issue.
So,
Yes.
madam is not audible here.
Yeah. Let's wait.
So,
Wait. And
okay, 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 okay.
Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Now
yes.
happened.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to hear me now?
Ah, yes. Now you are audible.
Sorry, or some other calls. Okay, fine.
Yes. Okay.
So, can you explain me dependency injection? How we can do the dependency injection over the
Okay, so basically, dependency injection is an design pattern basically. So, which is actual implementation of IOC. Okay, and which is used to inject the data or values to our beans. Okay, particular
okay?
desired beans. Okay, yes. So that is about the
How many
dependency.
ways? How many ways we can do the dependency injection?
So basically, there are two way. So I know. So like a setter dependency injection is there, and
Mm.
constructor dependency injection is there. Okay, so by using that, we can do
So,
dependency
can
injection.
you differentiate what is the BeanFactory and applicationFactory, and in real-time scenarios, which one is better to use?
Okay, so Bean Factory and Application
Application
Factory.
context. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, yes, Application Factory is not there. Okay, so basically, Bean Factory is an old one. Okay, and performance wise, performance wise, application context is the better because it has annotation support. Okay, it has internationalization support. Okay, it can be used to load the multiple XML files. Okay, so this kind of things we will get by using the application context container.
Okay. What is the difference between AutoWire and Bean?
Ma'am,
Because
come again, ma'am.
when we are doing some, yeah, when we are doing dependency injection, right? So we will be using Bean and AutoWire. So these are the things we will be using in the project. So can you explain me what is the difference between Bean and AutoWire? Hello.
So, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So you are stuck. So while talking, so can you again come again, ma'am? So that question. So you, hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, now you are audible. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the difference between Bean annotation and AutoWire?
Okay, so basically, at the rate auto annotation is we can use that on top of fields. Okay, and at the rate bean annotation we can use on top of methods. Okay, so in the case of so auto annotation is used to automatic dependency injection basically when we auto-wire any field, okay, or annotate any field as a by using the auto-wire annotation. So in that case, so that field will get injected automatically or implicitly, okay, we can say. But when we do some, when we annotate any method, okay, in the case of Java based configuration, so we will use the at the rate bean annotation, okay, on top of method, so that method will get return the particular object, okay, object of particular bean basically. So I think that is
Okay. For
design. Yes.
example, for example, in a class we have the two beans
Okay.
with the same what is the criteria. Then which one we don't know which bean we need to call, right? So in that scenario,
Yes.
like the beans should be at the same type. So
Yes,
we need to
yes.
specify somewhere that which bean you want to load. So in that
Yeah.
scenario, what annotation we will be using?
Okay, so we can use qualifier annotation, and inside that qualifier annotation, pass the particular specified bin ID. Okay, so in that case, so that particular bin will get injected, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have an experience on microservices?
No, ma'am. No, I don't use
Spring Boot?
microservices. Yes, yes, I have.
Yeah. So can you explain me what is a Spring Boot application? Because it will be in the main class, right? So what it will do actually?
So basically, so our program execution will get started from that particular class, so which having the main method, so which is annotated with the Spring Boot application. So that Spring Boot application is a combination of three annotations. So first is configuration, component scan, and enable auto configuration. Okay, so enable auto configuration, what will do, it will enable the auto configuration in a Spring Boot. Okay, then configuration annotation, it is use a Java based configuration basically. So okay, then component scan annotation is used to scan the all packages which are writing as a sub part of particular main package. Okay, so automatically, so that will be the point.
Okay. So, for example, in the Spring Boot we have the Tomcat by default. Tomcat and ZT will be default associated, right? So
Yes,
I
yes.
don't want to enable Tomcat or ZT
Yeah.
anything. I don't want anything to be enabled. So in that scenario, what I want to do? Like I have created one Spring Boot application, and
Yes,
I
yes.
don't want the service needs to be started. Like I need to exclude all the servers. So what we need to do for that?
So in that case, yes, we can do. Okay, so you want external server, that is mean. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't
Yes.
want any.
I
Yes.
want to
Okay.
I want to disable the servers and I want to
Servers.
uh,
Yes, yes.
I want external servers.
Yes, so we can do like inside the application or properties, we can set the web application type as a none. So in that case, okay, all embedded server gets okay, support will get disabled automatically, and then
Mhm.
we can use the external servers. Okay, so that is a solution for that.
Okay. For
Yes.
example, by inbuilt like Tomcat I am using and I want to I want to use a Jetty server. Then what? How can I do that?
So in that case, we can do exclude the existing, I mean, Tomcat dependencies, okay, from
So
the
where I
pom.xml
need to
file.
do that? Okay.
Huh?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
and include the okay, JT starter inside your pom.xml file. So automatically,
If
so
we
that
want to change the port of the Tomcat server, where I need to do what I need to do?
so we can add the server.port is equal to specified port inside the application.properties file.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, okay. So usually, see for every environment we have different ports. Okay. So
Yes.
I need to define. How can you differentiate that? Like we have a
Okay.
development,
Yes. Yes.
production,
Yes.
those
Yes.
things. So
Yes.
how can
Yes.
you come? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So basically, Spring Boot provides some profiles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do by maintaining the separate application. I mean application properties file. Okay, like application/dev. So this will be useful at the development. So application hyphen. Then any QA is the application hyphen
So that is
test
the
is.
only way that we can do, or any other way.
So I know that way. So basically, any other way, I don't do anything.
Okay. Um, so what is the default log thing which will provide the Spring Boot? Spring Boot will be provide the default log, right? What is that?
So default logs, you mean?
Yes. Yes.
No, ma'am. I don't have an idea about that, ma'am, basically. report login, and then these kind of things. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a knowledge on Hibernate?
No, ma'am. No, I don't have knowledge on Hibernate.
So in JDBC, yeah, I think you have knowledge on JDBC, right? So
Yes, yes.
how we can connect to the database? What are the steps we can follow? What is the first step? First step, we
So
have
in
some 5-6 steps, right? Yeah.
yes, yes. So in I mean in traditional JDBC you can say. Okay. So from
Yes.
Spring.
Traditional.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Traditional. Okay. So basically we need to follow some 6 or 5 steps. Okay. So first we need to load the particular driver like MySQL or any Oracle. Okay, any other driver. Then after that create or establish the connection by using the get connection. Okay, method. Then after that we can use we can create the particular statement object. Okay, if as per our requirement. Then after that we can fire the queries by using the
Difference between, yeah. So what are the different types of statements we have?
okay, so there are 3 types of statement basically. Yes. So like a statement is the prepare statement and callable statement. So these 3.
One more question I have in the Springboot. So do you know how we can handle the exception in the Springboot?
Okay, yes. So in my project, I have handled the exception, centralized exception basically. So in that exception class, I have annotated with @advice annotation, and inside there, I have write some APIs which are handle the specific method. Like so, those are annotated with exception handler annotation. Okay.
Okay. So how can you do commit or rollback? How can you handle if some errors is happening? It's like one database I have found I'm encountered with some error. So another if I want to do some other operation and it should be rolled back also. So how can you do that in Spring Boot?
No, ma'am, I'm not done that things basically. A rollback and these things. Yes.
Okay. And we have a Spring MVC. You are aware of Spring MVC, right? So what is the need
Yes.
of going to Spring Boot?
So basically, the by using the Spring MVC, so we required to write some boilerplate code like we required to maintain some I mean XML files. Okay, so we required to add the embedded servers. I mean external servers. Okay, to run the Spring MVC application. But in the case of the Spring Boot, okay, they will provide some embedded things like they will provide auto configuration. So that is the main part of a Spring Boot. Okay, then they will provide some embedded containers like there is we have tomcat is there, jetty is there, undertav is there. Okay, but in the case of the spring MVC, what will happen, they will not follow any I mean rapid application development. So okay, but in the case of spring boot mostly used for the rapid application development things. Okay, so I think for that purpose.
Okay, so for example, in the Spring Boot application, you want to connect to the database. Okay, you want to configure to the 2 different databases, and how can you do that? What is like? There will be some steps, right? So can you explain me what is the first step you are going to do? You need to deal with 2 databases, and how can you do that?
So you mean integrate the 2 databases in Spring Boot application? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So basically we can first step. I don't know exactly what we'll do here. So but we can do some configuration inside the application.properties file and provide their database databases names. Okay. So something like that we can do there. But exactly I'm not recall that basically.
Okay. So how can you disable, because in the Spring Boot, if you're using, it will automatically provide some auto configuration, right? How can you
Yes. Yes.
disable that? Because you don't want to do that auto configuration and you need to exclude that. How can you do that? And where you need to do?
So in that case, we have some three ways to do or exclude any auto configuration. Okay, so basically we can use @springboot application annotation, and inside that we can use the attribute of exclude attribute, and which class you don't want to participate inside the auto configuration, specify that class. Okay, so again we can use enable auto configuration annotation. Okay, so in that case also, so same we can use the exclude attribute of that annotation, and provide the specific class name or a specific class name, so it will be excluded from the auto configuration. Okay, so again there is third way is that we can use the application.properties file and then enable the or exclude the yes. Yes.
So, how you are building your application, jar or var?
Yes, so basically jar or var. So in that case, so in the case of form.xml file, so there is one tag is there. So there is one packaging is there. So we can specify the uh, whatever you want. If you want var, so you can specify there var. So and after clean that project, so that var will get created into a target folder. So that target folder is available in that case. So we will there. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Okay, yeah. So, for
Yes.
example, you are running your application, and whatever the
Yes.
changes you have done to your code, again you should not start that, and again you should not run. I mean, it should be keep on updating whatever the changes you have done. How can you do that?
So in that case, I can add here dev tools inside my Spring Boot application. So in that case, when we add the dev tools, so we are not required to recompile or recompile that code or redeploy that application. So automatically all changes will get affected in your application. So okay. So for that dev tool will be used. Yes.
What is meant by actuator?
So basically,
What is the main
actuators
purpose of that?
are Oh yes, so basically actuators are used to monitor our Spring Boot application when we push that application into a production phase. Okay, so it will provide some predefined, so it will provide predefined endpoints. Okay, so by using that we can get the information about that application. Like there are some shutdown is there. Okay, info is there, health is there, then beans is there. So this kind of endpoints we will get by the actuator. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
for example, when you're going to hit that URL like HTTP slash port number 8091 slash and that application slash actuator slash some health condition you are going to check, right? For example, I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to change the default actuator name to something else. How can you do that?
You mean you want to create our own actuator endpoints? Okay.
It's yes.
Yes. So I don't know about that. Basically, I'm not creating any user defined actuator endpoints. So I have used already predefined actuator endpoints.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not talking about that endpoints. So that is the other concept. We have in the URL, like we will be mentioning the actuator, right? Slash
Yes.
actuator
Yes.
slash then
Slash.
help.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
slash actuator name we can modify that, and we can give whatever the name we want to give. So that one we can easily change by using one sentence. You any idea on that?
No. No. I don't have any idea about that.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I have covered all the questions and. I think yeah, I'm done with the interview questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi, Samadhan. Hi, Pravalika.
Okay.
So,
I sir.
I think it was a very good interview, actually, Samadhan.
Thank you, sir.
No expectation as per your experience. And
Thank you,
Pravalika,
sir.
if you want to share the feedback right now, or if later on, then it's fine.
So basically, you are not audible correctly. So.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm saying that Prolika, if you want to share the feedback right now, it or otherwise we can share it.
The feedback of this sometime, because I just need to because he almost all of the questions he has answered correctly. Few of the questions like he need to like verify.
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
almost he answered all questions in a correct way only. It
Okay,
was
ma'am.
good. Only few
Yes.
questions you need to brush up in the
Yes, ma'am.
spring,
Yes,
like
yes.
how the
Okay.
actuator, because in the actuator you can do so many things. Okay, there are you can change the you can create some endpoints as well, like customized endpoints. So those things in the interviews mostly they will be asking how can you do that. So you can
Yes,
brush up
ma'am. Yes.
the part.
Okay,
And
ma'am. Okay.
yeah, profiles wise, you have answered one question like how can you? So we can do that by using the VM arguments as well. In the application, when you right click on the application, we can provide the VM arguments like underscore colon B, same like profiles we can add. So that also we
Okay.
can, and we can annotate by using that annotation profile of which version dev or production, that also we can do.
Yes,
And
yes. I know that at the rate profile annotation how to use.
yeah.
So basically,
Yeah,
yes,
like
yes.
we need to mention like all the ways how can we do that, right? So, because the
Yes,
interviewer
yes, yes.
may think like we need to provide all the exception, because sometimes one may not work or like some that kind of thing. So we need to provide all the cases. What are the
Yes,
things?
yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was good. Like you have explained very well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, and thank you.
Yeah.
For